Hi, my name is Jason Buffington. I'm the senior analyst at ESG covering data protection. You can follow me on Twitter at jbuff. And what I want to talk about for just a few minutes are some trends in virtualization and its protection. Earlier this year, ESG's annual IT priority spending report showed that the top slot for priorities, what people are actually spending money on this year, was improving data backup and recovery and increased use of server virtualization. I think it's interesting those two tie as the number one slot. Virtualization is always nearer at the top of the stack, but backup actually popped back up a little bit. And I think a large part of that is because as people are adopting virtualization more and we see that VM sprawl and all those extra instances of data and copies that are going on out there, people are figuring out their backup solution isn't what it used to be, and they're going to have to adapt that as well. When you're looking for virtualization protection solutions, here's a few things that you ought to be looking for. You ought to be thinking about source-side deduplication. Between the change log tracking in VMware, the file system filtering, NTFS journal, you want to be distinguishing what's unique inside of those VMs and across those hosts as close to that as possible to remove a lot of the burden from your backup solution. You should be looking for global deduplication across the hosts. If I'm just doing dedupe of a VMDK or a VHD, that means that for 100 VMs, I still got 100 copies of Windows on that backside, or maybe it's 98 and 2 copies Linux. I don't know. But you're looking for global dedupe so that the files are getting deduped within the VMs, not just across the VM files themselves. You're looking for post-process application handling. And what I mean by that is almost everybody can back up a VM well, but not all solutions, including the VADP stack versus VSS stack, not all architectures allow for telling the application side the guest, hey, you've been backed up. You can go ahead and do your application post-processing cleanup. That's mostly true in all VSS environments. They actually cover that because VSS runs on the inside and the outside. It's not as true in other hypervisors, and that's one reason why many virtualization backup solutions require injecting an agent inside that guest. It's not for a guest-based backup, it's for doing that post-process handling. Certainly, I hope that the other hypervisors will catch up from that regard in order to provide that as a common operating procedure. Monitoring and managing. It's not enough just to protect a VM or just to auto-discover the VMs and then protect them, because not all VMs should be protected the same way. Especially in an era of private cloud where VMs are being launched through self-service portals where IT doesn't even get involved anymore, we need to make sure that your management stack is able to automate and manage your data protection solution. So when that private cloud architecture launches those VMs, it can tell the backup solution, this is how you should back that up based on its SLAs and its retention requirements, as well as what the monitoring solution would be. Lastly, we should also be looking for multi-hypervisor support. While certainly VMware is still going to be around for many, many years to come, the reality is that whether you're talking about remote offices or just Windows Pure environments with Windows Server 2012 or Citrix environments, there's a lot of reasons why folks would be going towards multi-hypervisor. And the same way that in years past, folks would say, hey, if I could back up all my physical, but I couldn't back up my virt, I want to choose something different. I think you're going to see that same conversation where they say, if you can only back up my VMware, but you can't back up my Hyper-V, I'm going to choose something different as well. Backup solutions need to be multi-hypervisor capable. And then lastly, the one that I'm most interested in, the thing that's I think the coolest thing around virtualization protection is around what can you do around fast restores? Could you restore that whole VM and actually bring it online, even though the underlying VMDKs and VHDs are not online yet? Or what about item level recoveries? Everybody can pluck a single file out of a VM, or almost everybody. What about can I restore a mail message that was inside of Exchange, that was inside of a VM? Those are the interesting areas that you should be looking for around virtualization protection. Thanks for your time. My name is Jason Buffington. Follow me on Twitter at jbuff or read my blog at technicaloptimist.com. You can get everything here from the QR code, and thanks for watching.